Hello everyone, today I'm in Times Square in New York City, and Times Square is one of the most popular places to visit while in New York. About 50 million people visit Times Square every year, and Times Square is basically about 7 blocks of various retail and commercial businesses. And I'm going to begin my tour starting from 42nd Street, which is this street right here. And this first building directly in front of me, this is the One Times Square Tower, which was built in 2004, and it's home to various office buildings. And directly across the street, this brick and concrete building, that would be the Knickerbocker Hotel, and that's listed as a 5-star hotel, which a room there is about $300 per night. And I'm now walking north along Broadway and walking towards the center of Times Square, and there's more retail businesses and commercial. The store on the right, this is a H&M clothing store. It looks like women's fashion. And above H&M retail, that would be another office building. And continuing walking along Broadway, next to the H&M department store, there's a satellite office for the NASDAQ stock market. And this is just a satellite office. The headquarters of NASDAQ is by the World Trade Center. I do believe they have a studio in here to host various television shows about the NASDAQ and stock market and whatnot. And the one part of Times Square that everyone is probably familiar with is this building that's right behind me. And this is number 1 Times Square. This is the building where the ball drops on New Year's Eve, and at the very top there, the ball is up there somewhere. I can't really see it from this vantage point, but this building is also known as 1475 Broadway, and it was the headquarters of the New York Times up until 1912. And though the New York Times is no longer a tenant in the building, the area that's around it is still known as Times Square. And today, only the ground floor of the building is used for retail, and there's a Walgreens business on the ground floor there, and the rest of the building is vacant. And they say that the billboards that are attached to the sides of the building more than make up for the vacant office space inside. But in general, I mean, it really doesn't make that much sense to have a vacant building right in the center of New York City. And looking north along Broadway, the next building is called the Paramount Building, and at one time that was home to the Paramount Theater, and it is now used for office space. And off to the right, this is 1500 Broadway, and it's also called Times Square Studios, and this is owned by the Walt Disney Corporation. And this is also where they host the Good Morning America show, as well as various ESPN programs. And this is just kind of an open area, a boardwalk area. There's various performers, street performers. Here's some guy banging on some makeshift drums over here. And looking behind me, there's where we were just at. There's One Times Square building, and at the very top is the ball that they drop, and they have the year up there as 2021. And continuing along Broadway, walking north. The next building across the street is the corporate headquarters for the CBS Corporation, and they also have a MTV and Nickelodeon studios inside of this building. And off to the right are a few retail stores. There's a Gap and a Old Navy stores on the ground floor, and directly behind this building is the Millennium Hotel. And the Millennium Hotel is listed as a 4-star hotel, and currently prices there are about $90 per night. And I'm now crossing 44th Street, and we're about halfway through the tour. The New York City blocks seem to be rather short, or at least they are compared to, say, somewhere like Las Vegas, where they're about a mile long. And to the right, more shopping. Here's a Old Navy store, and directly next to Old Navy there's looks to be a vacant storefront. And it's not too unusual to see vacant stores now in New York City, and it's kind of surprising to see this in Times Square, as this is supposed to be some of the most expensive real estate, not just in New York, but maybe the whole country. And it seems the coronavirus, it's really hurt the tourism industry, and a large part of New York City is tourism based. So when the tourism closes down, parts of New York kind of shut down as well. And I'm now about to cross 45th Street, and the building directly across 7th there, that's the New York Marriott, and that's a rather large Marriott hotel. It's about 2,000 rooms, and that hotel was built in the 1980s. And looks like on the ground floor they have several retail shops and more retail on this side of the street as well. A Polo store, which the Polo store looks to be closed. Doesn't look like that's coming back. Anyway, there's some other retail here. Here's a Forever 21 store. And it looks like they have some street vendors set up today. They look to be selling artwork. And off to the right, here's a Disney store. And it looks like some gift shops coming up to the right as well. And a souvenir stand. And I'm now crossing 46th Street, and see if I could point out a couple of these buildings. That large tall building in the center, that would be the W Hotel, and it has a rather large W on the top of it. That's listed as a 4.5-star hotel, and that is closed as well due to the coronavirus. And the building next to that, the large glass building right there off to the right, that would be the corporate offices for Morgan Stanley Corporation. And continuing along Broadway, more retail shops off to the right. This looks to be a woman's fashion store. And here's another vacant store next to it. It looks like some more outdoor open area across the street. This is still Times Square. says this will be the future of the TSX Broadway. As you can probably see, they do have hot dog stands about every street. And these hot dog vendors, it's about $4 to $5 for a hot dog. Now crossing 47th Street, and to the right, here's another vacant store. And off to the left, that would be the Renaissance Hotel. And that's listed as a 4-star hotel. And the rooms cost about $230 a night. And here's a Hershey's chocolate store. And some more gift and souvenir shops to the right. Just about every one of these stores has an I Love New York t-shirt, so if you love New York, this is the place to buy your t-shirt here. And I'm now approaching 48th Street. And this building across Broadway, that's a M&M store and M&M chocolate store. Then up above, those would be condos in that building. And the price of a 1-bedroom condo there starts at about in the low $1 million range. So it's a little bit expensive here, but the prices have come down a little bit. And the prices of hotels have certainly come down. Maybe I'd say about 30%. And another gift shop across the street. That one's called Gifts on the Square. And on this side, some more gift shops. This is called a I Love New York Gifts. And just about every t-shirt and sweater in this store has the I Love New York logo on it. And now approaching 49th Street. And this is pretty much the end of the Times Square area. Now it just gets into basically mostly business and residential. This building off to the right, this is a Barclays bank building. And the building to the left, this is 750 Broadway. It's just a commercial office building. And basically it's the same all the way up Broadway here. And Central Park is maybe about a half mile to the north. And that will conclude my tour of Times Square. Thank you.